This video is aimed at the installation process for the SafeNet demo that we're running in alpha form right now. So this puts a containerized browser on a computer and is aimed at sort of letting people play around with it. So the demo assumes that you've installed you've downloaded the installer from the website and parked it somewhere like on your desktop. The install happens in two phases, so there's a reboot in between, and when the machine reboots, and that can take, this is a i5 Windows 10 Professional machine with 12 gigs of RAM in it, so it's kind of souped up. But the reboot may take 3 or 4 minutes. I would think, depending on what your processor is and the amount of RAM and so on, because it takes a while to enable Hyper-V, which is what the containers are using. So I start the install process here. There's a terms and conditions statement. Early on, it pops a window here just to sort of hammer home, especially the system requirements. So right now, the demo will only run on Windows 10 Professional because we're relying on Hyper-V and 64-bit. You need a certain amount of RAM and free disk space, and importantly, no VirtualBox. So Hyper-V and VirtualBox don't play nicely together on the same computer, and we really prefer that VirtualBox not be on the machine because we don't want to, mess up any virtual machines that you care about. So once you're done reading this, I'd like you to skim through it if you would. Read it. I'm going to close it, and the install continues on. What it's doing right now is it's looking to see if my machine meets the system requirements. It says that it does. If it didn't, it would pop up a message saying things like if VirtualBox is on the machine that the installer is quitting. So I click OK, and what it does is it puts in something called Xming, which is an open source piece of software, which is how we're rendering the GUI from the browser container. Puts in Docker, which we're using to run the containers. And then it enables Hyper-V. So I'm getting to the end of this particular phase. It's going to ask me to reboot. We'd really encourage you not to skip that step because the Docker can't start and the containers won't run until Hyper-V is enabled. So I'm about to reboot the machine, and I'll pick up the video on the other side.